So this old versus new is going to be an interesting one because both of them are kind of going for different things. The original Reveal the Shield, I've been noticing a lot of these are comparing Reveal the Shield, aren't they? It's interesting. Anyways, the original Reveal the Shield was kind of an update of the original G1 Jazz toy, while the new Studio Series is definitely a cartoon Jazz. This one's going for the cartoon, this one's kind of being an update of the toy. That's why both of them have a place in my collection. But that being said, for having one as like the primary Jazz on your shelf, you know, you have some option. You definitely have options here, and you have some things to kind of consider when comparing these. Now, granted, I love the Reveal the Shield Jazz. It is not perfect. It has issues. It has some pretty big issues. But I've always loved it. I never really felt myself replacing it. Like, I never saw myself, you know, totally getting rid of it. But I like it. And then the Studio Series is pretty great. It does have a couple issues here and there, but overall it's a pretty great Jazz. So, let's get into it. Let's talk about the robots. So like I said, this one's going for the toy look. So he has the wheels on the shoulders and the door wings. This one's going for the cartoon look. So the wheels are tucked away and the doors are tucked away. So yeah, when it comes to kind of cleanliness, this one definitely has a cleaner look in my opinion. He looks really slick. But this one, the doors do have that double feature of having the speaker accessories, which are super cool. And he just pretty much has the top of the car on the back, so that's not really a biggie. Yeah, honestly, I did add that Autobot sticker there. I did add that, by the way, because, come on, he needed it. But yeah, honestly, comparing these two, they're going for totally different things, really. Obviously, you can see the height difference. Newer Deluxes are getting smaller, man. Twice the price, and they're getting smaller. But hey, they're still bringing quality products, so you can't complain too much. So that's kind of the direct comparisons. Let's talk about the robot mode on the original RTS. So he had light piping. So he has the clear visor. And the light piping, let's get my little ball flashlight down. Light piping was not that great. It's not really coming through too well. But I always loved this head sculpt. Always absolutely loved that sculpt. It has like this cool like grimace to it. It just looks so mean and ready for battle. I just love it. And then, let me get my little flashlight away. I like the look of the chest and the doors on the shoulders. Honestly, this would have been a cool repaint for like a Dark of the Moon Soundwave because of the doors on the shoulders. And I really like the speakers. Those can fold away too if you don't want them there. And they honestly kind of tuck away really nicely. They even kind of have a spot to slot in, I believe. You can kind of slot them in somehow. I'm trying to remember how. But I think you can slot them in. Maybe not. I normally didn't worry about that. You can just kind of have them resting back there. Yeah, if you don't want those, you can tuck them away. But personally, come on, man. Having speakers out is so cool. So, yeah, he has one big issue. His chest doesn't tab in. It doesn't. So as you're messing with him the whole time, he's going to be flopping around. Seriously. It is unavoidable. He will flop around. His chest will move, and it's a part of like an automorph too. And his shoulders floop. He's kind of a floppy mess in the chest department. He just is. Like this, like lifting his arm up. Look at that. I just lifted his arm up, and it did that. So it's like you always have to hold him by the chest the whole time you're messing with him. And even then, his arm articulation is really weird. Like he's got a ball joint at the shoulder, but you also have that loose hinge. He has double elbows, but they're not really double elbows. Like they are, but they're really weird how they work. Like you have to move the upper one first, and then you can move the lower one. And also his forearms were painted white. They were painted white. Why weren't they cast in white? They've always looked so out of place to me, especially how like oddly springy the sculpt is. How it has like 2 rivets in it. I mean, Jazz as a character design does have those rivets, but they're just really like distinct on this one. He has a really thin waist. The only reason he has a decent silhouette is because of the back. I mean, get rid of that, and he's got like this super skinny waist. You can't really get rid of it though. But I mean, his legs aren't too bad. They do have that weird kind of look to him. Like he's got like this spring here that kind of fills it out, which works. But I don't know. I've always felt like his legs are a little odd. just a little odd. Maybe it's like his big feet or something. Maybe the angle to him too kind of makes him look like a movie figure. But honestly, I mean, not a bad figure. I've always liked his gun, even though this too very easily just folds. And if you fold it in, it's like a hairdryer. He's got a little hairdryer weapon. Yeah, not the best. Not the best weapon, and you can see that chest issue. You pretty much saw his articulation. It's not bad, but it's far from great. So yeah, that's the Reveal the Shield Jazz. A cool figure, but definitely not one free of sin. However, the Studio Series 1 basically just has one key problem. Other than that, he's pretty perfect. You can see his backpack doesn't really tab in too well, but it's not as big of an issue. The hinge is a lot tighter, and it's his back too. It's not always going to be flopping. His chest actually locks in. You can see that. There's actually tabs. It actually locks in, which is great. But his issue is his knees. The hinge for the transformation is his actual knee joint. You have to like push in to move, because if you just want to move his leg, it's going to untab his knee, because the tab is so tiny and weak that it's just going to, you know, it's just tolerance issues, really. I mean, right there you can see it's actually working well, but this one, the knee's too tight, and it just wants to untab first. Honestly, for posing, you just kind of have to hold his knees while you're doing it. It's still really irritating. I wish his knees were way more solid. That's pretty much his only issue. Other than that, I love his ankle tilt. I love his look, his proportion. He's just looking really jazzy. I mean, look at that. He's got a waist swivel too. Like, that looks pretty great. This is definitely my definitive jazz now, especially since it won't like totally flip-flop around at the torso. I love the head sculpt. The very bright blue visor is definitely 100% my thing. It looks really cool. Unfortunately, though, like, they changed his number from 4 to 14. Absolutely no reason. Like, I can't fathom why they did that. Like, it's not a licensed thing. This isn't a licensed number 4 car, right? Why, like, did they not get the rights to the number 4? So they had to make it 14? I genuinely do not understand that. I mean, if it bothers you that much, you can probably just take a little bit of acetone and whoop, or just get a repro label and cover it up. Because I think they've already got a repro label set for this guy out already. But yeah, he does have his weapon, which he holds fine, and it's not gonna flip-flop on you. Yeah, he's just a really cool, solid robot, man. I like the shoulder joints, how those work. I like when they have that detail there. Unfortunately, his arms are just those basic, like, oh, flip in the hand, hollow arms, but they work. They do their job. I love his feet. I love his feet. My only issue, yet again, is those knees. Those knees, man, I just wish they did something better with those. So, that is Studio Series Jazz. I'm not going to show his box and all that stuff, because who really cares? All right, let's transform the Reveal the Shield one. If memory serves me right, it's not too hard. It's actually been years since I've transformed this guy, but it's not too hard of a transformation if I recall correctly. I've pretty much got his legs all done already. Excuse any dirtiness. Like I said, I've had this guy for years. He might be a little dirty. Thankfully, my videos aren't so high-res enough that you'll see all the little dirt and everything. But a lot of these old Transformers, like in the crevices, especially in the white ones, they get like little, like, you know, I don't want to say brown, but like tan, like grime in them. I've noticed that in like other videos too, like from other collectors. It's not just a me thing. Like, it's a genuine issue with like older figures. So yeah, those just kind of fold in like that, which is nice. It's nice those can fold in easy. And then you close it up. And you can have the speakers out in vehicle mode too, which is awesome. Close it up, tab it together. And, geez, I said tab it together. I said tab it together. I said tab it together. There we go. It's one of those things where you have to like lip it in instead of just tabbing it in. All right. I think one of the speakers is kind of blocking the way, but that's pretty much it. Then you can take his gun, fold it up, tab it in. There you go. There's Reveal the Shield Jazz in his vehicle mode. Unfortunately, how they designed the 4 here, the paint scratches as you transform it. So it's really unfortunate how they designed that, because they it rubs up against each other and it rubs up against other stuff. You can see he is an Autobot, obviously. Yeah, it's a car. It looks pretty cool. I like the spoiler on the back. It's kind of interesting how it is on a hinge, too. So you can kind of angle it or whatever. Yeah, it's a pretty cool car. It rolls pretty well. It looks the part. I like the red and blue striping. I really do. I like that, how that looks. So yeah, that's Reveal the Shield Jazz in his car mode. Now, I remember the first time I transformed the Studio Series one, there was a crucial transformation step that I totally missed, and I really struggled to transform this guy. So I'm hoping I remember what that was, because I really don't want to look like an idiot in front of the camera. I think what it was, there's something, it's like you flip. Okay, so I know his head. This is another paint rub issue. This guy's not free of it. Trying to flip his head in, this panel might start rubbing up against this panel, causing some real issues, so keep that in mind. So yeah, I think he's got, oh yeah, this piece. There's something going on with the torso here. Oh yeah, this, you rotate this. So you rotate the silver and then you rotate the white. That was the clearance issue that I had. Very kind of makes the transformation not as straightforward as you would kind of want it to be. Because I really, I like figuring out Transformers on my own, right? But I actually did have to look up a video on how to transform him because I couldn't figure that out. Because that's not really something you would expect. But that being said, it's not like worthy of a complaint. You know, it's not like, oh, it's too complicated, blah, blah, blah. It's just an easily overlooked step. But you can see his transformation's honestly pretty smooth and painless if you know to do that, which I didn't. Just kind of get them all tabbed together. And I absolutely love this car mode. I love it. Yes, you do have the feet sticking out the back. I know. Yes, you don't really have as nice a weapon storage on this as you did on that one. You pretty much just have to stick it somewhere and deal with it. And you pretty much just have the port on the top. But honestly, man, that's jazz. Maybe get rid of the one. But yeah, dude, I love it. I love the angles up to the car. I love the big old spoiler. This is jazz. I love it. It may not be exactly 100% like the cartoon or the movie, especially the number, but man, this is my new jazz. It really is. How does it roll? Well, if I actually tabbed in the arms to the doors like you're supposed to, maybe it might have a better chance. So, it rolls all right. Yeah, it rolls pretty good. I think both of them roll pretty good, honestly. I'd say it's pretty equal. Because honestly, I think that's an important aspect of a jazz figure. So, I don't want to, talk about it too much, but I'm going to show them real quick. I passed on the Power of the Primes jazz because I instantly knew it wouldn't be as good as the Reveal the Shield. I do have the mold. I have it with Ricochet. And I must say I was 100% right. This guy is not that good. I just wanted to put it out there. If you're looking for a jazz, maybe don't worry about the Power of the Primes one. If you want one that kind of has more of the toy vibe, go for Reveal the Shield. But if you're looking for one that is G1 cartoon, more sturdy, more durable, more fitting in with the modern figures, Studio Series is definitely the way to go. Honestly, out of both of these, I prefer the Studio Series. That's one I would personally recommend. But the Reveal the Shield still has a place in my collection, still has a place in my heart. Even though it is kind of a floppy mess in the robot mode, it's still a pretty solid figure. And I think it's pretty cool. But definitely for me, the Studio Series is the one that wins in my book. I love the shape of the car. I love the back wheels there. I love that. Alrighty, guys, there we go. Let me know which one you prefer down in the comments below. Do you actually prefer the Power of the Primes one over both of these? If so, let me know why. I'm kind of curious to know because I'm not a very big fan of that mold at all. I got Ricochet, and I'm just like, eh. Alrighty, guys, there we go. That's pretty much it. Have a good one. Bye.